Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of the Team Venom Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Rory Bailey, joined by my co-host, Connor Franks. Connor, how the devil are you, my love?
I'm good, thank you very much. We're talking about wrestling, so I am happy.
Nice. And we're going to talk about something that's made us both very happy, which is wrestling in 2024, which has been
Very
amazing so
happy.
far. And
Amazing year of wrestling.
it's it's been so good, not just from WWE, and we'll get to that in a bit, but yeah, so for the purpose of this, we wanted to go through the best things of the year, give like basically our version of like a year-end award because freaking Meltzer does them and no, and then they're completely inaccurate. So we figure we may as well contradict that with ours. So yeah, so Connor, do you want to get us started and we go for the to kick it off with the best male wrestler in 2024?
Best
Any
male wrestler.
any televised promotion is, and that's the rule that we'll go for this. And then anyone that's listening along to this, if you're listening on Spotify, find us on YouTube and drop your comments on what you disagree with, and if you think that we've missed something out on any of these, because obviously it's all very subjective based on fan perspective. But yeah, and we'll limit ourselves to televised stuff, as in like we'll say the big three. So we'll say WWE, TNA, and AEW.
Caveat question for this.
Yeah,
Are we talking in-ring work? Are we talking the kind of year they've had?
either. Best
Okay.
best best wrestler for the year in general. Best male wrestler.
Okay. I feel like the easy answer would be like Cody Rhodes, but
I mean,
I don't
you
think I
can
want to
say
give that
Cody, and
answer.
I'll say someone else, and we can both offer an answer. That's the
Do
cool thing.
Dominic Mysterio.
Okay, I agree with
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
as you should.
that was easy. Yeah, Dom,
Yeah.
definitely. He is the best developed character on TV. The fact that he spent half the year with his arm in a sling and stuff, and was still in every segment or whatever on every week, even not every segment. My apologies, but made every segment that he was involved in gold was yeah. I love Dom. I think Dominic is definitely future world champion, and
I think
he's got so much
next
potential,
year
man.
is gonna be like next level for him. I
Yeah.
think the fact that he's not been the top guy this year, or even any guy this year, he's not held a title, I don't think.
No, whereas
Um,
last year he was a two-time North American champion, wasn't he?
yeah,
Was that
but I
last year or the year
think,
before? Yeah,
yeah, last year, I think based on how many segments he's in, how many major storylines he's in, how many world champions he gets involved with,
yeah.
I think without going for the obvious, Cody won the Rumble and then won Mania.
Or
I think
CM
going
Punk's
based,
return, which was also glorious.
yeah, I think just going up, if I'm deciding who, in my opinion, if you give me a list goes who stood out this year
Yeah,
for good things,
yeah.
then yeah, I'm gonna with chest say Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll happily say Dominic Mysterio for for our top male wrestler of 2024. So we'll have a different one each. Will we not? I will go with Dom. That's fine. I mean, honorable mentions. I'd say Cody Rhodes has had a phenomenal year. Roman Reigns has had such a good year for his character work, and The Rock's return was great. Drew McIntyre and CM Punk both had such a great feud that like dominated most of the year for both of them, and they both had a great year. CM Punk coming back out of that, but CM Punk's return, for example, this is one of the things that I think showed how well liked Dominic is backstage. So CM Punk's first match back in 10 years was at Madison Square Garden
Madison
against
Square
Dominic
Garden.
Mysterio. Yeah,
Yep.
that was his first match in a WWE ring in 10 years, and it wasn't televised, which is upsetting. But like
No,
the
but let's be
that's just
honest. If
amazing.
a guy's returned for 10 years, who knows if anyone's gonna really, remember who he is? Give
Yeah.
him, put him in a match against a top guy. Give him a rub. There you go, kid.
Yeah,
Go out there and show
Dom's
him
top
what
right.
straight
Yeah,
edge
yeah.
is. Yeah, yeah.
On the flip side, who would you say has been the worst wrestler this year? And yeah, again, we don't have to say in terms of their abilities. We can say purely based on the storylines they're involved with. It could be that a storyline has stunk it up that much that you just don't like them. And again, this is just on the male side because we'll get to the female side of things next as well.
Oh,
Or
if we
maybe I
can,
tell you
because
what, let's just
if
do
we
the
were
best
set,
this
if
week. We'll do worse next week because I've just realised we've got a lot to get through in half hour.
okay, well, I was
Yeah,
gonna say like because I could give an answer for like worst thingy, but like worst per like wrestler, but then there's like worst angle because there was an angle in a major feud that really pissed me off, and I just thought was so stupid.
yeah. What was that one? The fuck it. We'll just talk about it anyway. We won't do it worse next year. We'll
Well,
do it now. Oh, we're changing it on the flip
all
flop.
right, yeah, fuck it. So what am I doing? Worst angle or worst wrestler? Because they're two
We'll
different
just do
answers.
worst wrestler for now. We'll get to like yeah.
Okay,
We'll get
all
to the
right.
angle later on.
Worst wrestler for the year in terms of close but no cigar. I think I would probably give it to Chad Gable. I feel like
Yeah,
that was purely based on the fact that and it's more on creative than him. But
yeah,
it's not about his in-ring work. He's one of, if not the best work, like actual worker. But I think
yeah,
as a character, Chad Gable should have won something this year,
yeah.
especially
And
turning heel and all that. He should have won the IC title or, whatever. And it's been nothing but losing feuds.
yeah. Okay, I like
And
that. I
then
like
when he
I
got
like that
shot in the
approach.
head by the Wyatt Six.
Yeah, and then was fine the next week. Although he had
Yeah.
such a great match with Cody Rhodes on SmackDown the other week.
Oh yeah, he's incredible. I
Yeah,
I love
he's
Chad
so
Gable.
great. Yeah,
This
that's yeah. I see what you
this
mean. It's
heel
like
run should be like the fucking rocket up his ass to take him to the
and
top.
but that interaction with Cody looks like it's the first step in it finally getting in the right
Good,
thing. So next year
good.
we might be talking about him in the best sort of category because
I
of it.
hope
And
so.
so
Yeah, because
yeah,
I really like him.
yeah. I was going to come up with something different. I'm going to, yeah, in fact, I am going to say something different. The worst wrestler for me this year has been Hangman Page. No, Orange Cassidy over in AEW. Orange Cassidy has been in AEW for 5 years, wrestling with his hands in his pockets and his sunglasses on and doing these little lame kicks at people's shins, which is okay for an occasional comedy character, but it's every fucking week for 5 years. And their last pay per view, he main evented against John Moxley for the AEW Championship. No, no, naughty
Yeah,
AEW, no. Cassidy, what he do like there's absolutely a place for humor in wrestling. There absolutely is. But when you're trying to put that guy as as the potential world beater and becoming like a world champion without being able to do a proper kick or without taking a match seriously, the fact because that's his gimmick, he can't be arsed with the match. And then all of a sudden he'll like spring up and he'll do some really active stuff and it'll be really cool. But for the most part, he's just, yeah, I'm going to make this stuff look fake as fuck. And that's the biggest issue with his comedy style is like he's doing a really weak shin kick to someone or he's got his hands in his pockets the whole time. Like, no, I don't. Again, small dose is fine, but the fact that it's got to the point where it's the main feud in the promotion, no, naughty
yeah.
pockets.
At the risk of, holding a tennis racket and sounding like Jim Connor, it's that shit's corny. I can't. I'm
It's
all for
shit.
a comedy character, R-Truth,
Mate, we
but
love Santino. We fucking loved it. If
he's
Santino had won the world title in that chamber or won the Rumble that time when it looked like he almost did, then we would have been all over that shit like that.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It works with some people.
because the character like knew its place, I think is the
Yeah,
best way to word it. The
absolutely.
character had a ceiling. The Santino thing was never going to happen. Like the Rumble was a big shock and oh my God, he's behind Del Rio.
Yeah,
But in general, the character has a ceiling for a
yeah,
reason. There's a reason why don't the Clown was never WWF champion.
absolutely. So for the next one, I was going to say best female wrestler. I'm going to take it first because you had the first one and last one, and you accidentally spoke for both of us. So and I know we're going to have the same answer. I think in this one, I can't see. I, out of the big three promotions, I think the person with the best year has been Jordan Grace.
Absolutely.
She was TNA knockout. She started off as the Impact Knockouts champion and became the inaugural TNA a Knockouts champion when they had the rebrand. She was in the frigging Royal Rumble as Knockouts champion and got a really good showing. She's had all those. We are just talking about the WWE side of things. She's been the poster girl for TNA on NXT, which is mad. And that's really good. It's a really good thing. Like WWE obviously see a lot of promise in her, and they're using her to her full potential and such. And I wouldn't be surprised if she ended up as the NXT Women's Champion while still under a TNA contract. And I think her whole year for the WWE side of stuff has been phenomenal because they have booked her like a true main event powerhouse. She turns up on NXT and it's like, oh crap. You know what I mean? They've literally they've built her how her aura is in TNA, which is great. And obviously in TNA she's had a great year. She only recently lost the Knockouts Championship, so she's had a good 10 month run
Yeah.
as champ. And yeah, I don't think there's anyone that's had as good a run on paper because they have the dual promotion thing as well. You know what I mean?
No, I, yeah,
It's
no, I agree entirely with John and Chris.
yeah,
That was my
and
answer too.
I figured it would be. And for the worst female wrestler, I don't even know the names. I'm going to speak explicitly, but AEW getting the worst from me, and I'm sorry, but there is a whole storyline of female wrestlers in AEW where their whole gimmick is that they just want to shake their tits for the camera, and they use those words. That's not my words. It's like a whole backstage segment of just basic borderline filth,
I
and
don't know what that is, but best in the world.
no, but it's that thing of like, okay, so how is that we've had this whole thing for years of giving divas a chance was what it started off with when AJ Lee was in the WWE, wasn't it? That was the trending hashtag, give divas a chance, and they built it up. We got women's evolution. TNA have had knockouts only pay-per-views. They've had headline Lita and Trish headlined a Raw and all this sort of thing, and they've gradually built it up to the point where the women's wrestling division in WWE at the moment is the most stacked it's ever been in terms of size.
Yeah.
Obviously, name power it's going down a bit because
Excuse me.
Charlotte's off, Becky's off, um, and then obviously there was an era when we had like Trish and Lita and China and stuff in there. So you know at the moment name power maybe not so much, but it's still up there. But the actual size of the roster is amazing. The fact that you're getting multiple women's matches and that they're all enjoyable is the other thing as well. And then AEW go, yeah, we're going to have these women just doing backstage things, just talking about tits, shaking them around, and that's their whole thing. Like
Yeah.
that's that's the thing that WWE used to get slammed for in the '90s for being too crass and trying to do the whole sex sells thing. Where
Yeah.
but WWE when they did that was still better than what this is. So I don't know those wrestlers' names. Otherwise, I'd tell you, Connor, and you'd be able to Google it because I know you want to know. But but yeah, I'd say they've got the worst female wrestlers, whoever they were.
I've
Your
got an
opinion
answer that
first for worst.
people probably aren't going to like.
Oh, go on then.
Again, I'm basing this off what the character should have done within the year, the same as like the Chad Gable, right?
Are you going to say Naomi?
I am saying Naomi.
How you said that, how you introduced it, because of the Jordan Grace thing, the pair of them had such a stellar Royal Rumble thing.
hmm I
Is that what
just
you're going
feel
to say?
like, yeah, and I feel like Naomi not even won a title, like or anything, but she should
Yeah,
have been a like a thorn in the champion's side for a while.
yeah,
Like even if she just really struggled to get the job done for a while, should have been a thorn in the side. Maybe she's going to be the one who attacked Jade Cargill, and they're going to
maybe.
go for a heel run. Maybe, we don't know what the future holds in Papa H. We trust all that jazz. But I think for what it should have been, and she returned in the Rumble, so it's for her. Like this timeline is quite literally a year since she's been back.
Yeah, She
So
returned the Rumble
it's
and nothing else memorable since then, unfortunately.
yeah,
And that's not me shitting on it. That's literally I'm a massive fan of Naomi. I think she's a
me too.
genuinely nice person. I mentioned on one of the previous episodes about Eddie Edwards and how great he was with my son at the TNA show the other year. Naomi, there as Trinity, was the Knockouts champion at the time,
Yeah.
and Ruben went to ringside and was like cheering for. He like, literally went all the way up to the guardrail and everything. I've got photos of her hugging him. She like pulled him over the guardrail and everything. It's amazing. It's really nice and everything. Feeling like it was really lovely with him. Genuinely nice person. So I was properly hyped to see her go back to the WWE. And then, like you say, nothing's happened with her. And
Yeah, I think she could have, like I say, it's not about winning titles because let's be honest,
yeah,
in the long run, they're props. But I think she should have been used and put in better positions, which again
yeah,
isn't on her.
yeah.
But I
And
think
that's the
if
thing with that and the Chad Gable thing. We're
it's not
not
the
shitting on
individual,
them. It's
no,
like the stories that they're in that we haven't. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I'd say Naomi.
Okay, so to you, because there's been a lot this year. Who would you say has had the best wrestling debut or return? And you can count someone jumping ship and go into AEW, or obviously when we get to the worst, you'll probably say Naomi. But like, yeah,
Um,
because there's been so WWE went on like a signing spree. Like
yeah,
that. Then and some of the guys that have had
I
comebacks have been amazing as well.
I I popped hard for Ethan Page.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I popped very hard for Ethan Page.
And he won the NXT title in like what his second
Yeah,
match or something like that, or was it his
yeah.
first match? I don't know. I think it's
Having watched Ethan Page for a long time, obviously
same.
we were essentially partnered with Impact when he was doing the run as the North, longest
Yeah.
reigning TNA tag champs at that point before I left for AEW. I'm not going to pretend I watched him in AEW because we all know my opinions on that.
Well,
Um,
hardly anyone
but
could watch him in AEW because they didn't use him.
yeah,
He was
yeah,
just
true.
there. Like, and yeah,
Yeah, Sean Spears was good. Good
yeah.
to see Sean Spears back. Um, the obvious answer is probably Punk, but I know that's going to be your answer, so I'm not going to say
No, no,
that.
no. I've got a different answer. Come on,
Oh my
man. Motor
God,
City
I
Machine
know.
Guns are mine.
Uh,
How, like,
yeah, 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 yeah,
how am I not going to have said the Motor City Machine Guns?
yeah.
They,
Who have already
and
lost
Punk
their
was
tag
last
titles?
year, so it's fine.
Who have already lost the tag titles?
Yeah, they've had a decent-ish run, but
It's for the long run story though, because then it's on
yeah,
DOI, and DOI are probably going to lose it to
probably to
the
them.
Tongans, and then no, they'll probably lose it to the Tongans, and then Mania we get Usos Tongans.
Yeah,
But that's a different pod altogether. I'm just gonna double down and say my boy Ethan Page.
yeah, fairs. We we've been very TNA heavy on this without trying. So, yeah, mostly Machine Guns for me. They're two of my all-time favorite wrestlers. I've followed their career for years. I'm so happy that they went into the WWE and won the tag team championships on their second night. That is a fantastic way to debut a tag team. Do you know what I mean? No one does that. Obviously,
Yeah.
Santino won the Intercontinental Championship from the crowd in his debut match, and that made him like that because then we had the Honkameter and all the things that evolved from that point. But the Motor City Machine Guns are a tag team that no one thought would go to the WWE because they are smaller guys and everything, and they're at that point where they've been teaming together for the better part of 20 years now, and it's just something that people didn't think would they'd ever see happen. And the fact that it has happened is amazing. But the fact that they came into WWE as Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley and the Motor City Machine Guns name as well, the fact that they've kept the whole thing that makes them them, same gear, same attitude, same style, brilliant. And then WWE went, you're having the tag titles on your second night, and you're beating the Tongans, who Gorillas of Destiny were New Japan Pro Wrestling's biggest tag team for years. They were the guys in the Bullet Club that stuck around for a while, and yeah, and then they had a great debut in WWE. The Jacob Fatu's had a great debut as well. There's been
The thing
loads,
is as well, if you
but
say to like a hardcore indie wrestling fan, you said to them 10 years ago that on a
yeah,
random SmackDown, you're
you'd
gonna
see
see
the
Gorillas of
Gorillas of
Destiny
Destiny
versus the
drop the titles.
Guns.
Yeah,
Yeah, they'd have made a mess.
yeah, and that was amazing. The fact. that alone as a whole thing makes that was great. I loved it. I love the fact that that happened. I know it was shenanigans to get the titles off the Tongans and stuff because Jey Uso, but I don't care. The Guns won the tag titles in their second night with the company. Brilliant. Yeah, on their second show with the company. Sorry. So yeah, the Guns for me are the best debut this year. Ethan Page for you, yeah, I completely agree with
Yep.
that. Worst debut or return?
Okay, so this is easy. It's not Naomi. I at the in October, I was in Nashville, Tennessee.
hmm
Beautiful city. Love that city. We'll be back. At the same time, SmackDown was in Nashville, Tennessee. They said, a beautiful city, lovely city. They'll be back. And while I was there, I watched it. I watched the return of AJ Styles,
Oh shit! Yeah, I
who
forgot that
then
happened.
had his match called off because his body went, ah, we're not ready for that. And I
Yeah,
believe was his ankle or his leg. It was awful to see. Not a fan.
and it's
Um,
now an
but yeah,
indefinite thing, isn't it?
yeah,
He's out for.
from what I've looked at, there's not a return scheduled for anything. So I feel like he was off injured, came back, and legit got injured to the point the match got called off. I don't think there is a worse return me
Yeah,
than that. Obviously, no fault of his own. It's not like storyline or bad XYZ. But call a spade a spade. That's an awful return.
yeah, absolutely. I agree. The thing is, I love AJ Styles. When he turned heel on Cody, I thought it was great. I love that we got that feud earlier this year. I love that he's back at that level of main event and stuff because he should be. And then the injury and the return from the injury and the injury during the return, man, that sucked for him. And so yeah, I'm going to agree with you. Yeah, worst return because of what happened to. Because that
Yeah.
again, we're not shitting on him and the actual return, but the fact that during his return match he got taken out again, which
But that's the thing. It's like the conversation was worst debuts of all time. It's Shockmaster. It's not
yeah,
his fault
absolutely,
that what happened with Shockmaster, but
yeah,
that happened and that made it bad. It's the same
yeah,
with this
exactly,
injury. AJ didn't drop like that with the intention of messing up his ankle or leg, whatever it was. It's
yeah.
just things happen in wrestling. We're just gonna roll the dice and go from there.
One category that that I bet you're not expecting. We've seen Impact Wrestling became TNA again at the beginning of the year, and with that they redesigned all of their belts, and there's some fucking good looking title belts there. WWE redid the tag team titles, Intercontinental title,
Yeah.
NXT titles. Um, so for this one, for this next category, I wanted to go for best title redesign.
Oh, this is
And
easy for me.
you're going to say WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship, aren't
Yeah,
you?
of
So the
course I
WWE,
am.
yeah, of course, yeah. Okay, yeah, I agree.
There is no other correct answer. There is
Yeah,
no other correct answer. There's
yeah,
some lovely looking belts at TNA.
yeah,
The Raw tag titles exist. The
yeah,
NXT ones are okay, but the SmackDown ones, they're next
yeah. They're
level.
beautiful. Yeah,
Mwah,
I
chef's
mean,
kiss.
and one of the things that I'd like to give out as an honourable mention is the adding the blue to the background of the fucking Intercontinental Championship. How much of a difference has that made?
Yeah, that really. Yeah,
It's just yeah,
yeah,
because I
absolutely.
didn't like that belt before. I thought it was like, it's all right. It's just sort of there. Doesn't remind you of like the other Intercontinental title designs. At least remind you of that title. The Attitude Era one, they'd redesigned it and made it oval,
Yeah,
but it was still the same sort of layout, the wide title and the short and wide thing. And then
yeah.
this one, yeah, I think it doesn't have that same sort of edge. And then adding that blue in made all the difference. And now because of that blue, just because of that blue, to me that looks like the Intercontinental Championship. And
It's
but
like
yeah,
the US, isn't it? They added the red at the bottom, like the red and
yeah,
white stripes at the bottom. I think go to the top and add the blue to behind the stars, and that would look perfect.
yeah, absolutely. And although I still prefer the previous one, I think it's going to take
Me
a
too.
lot to beat the previous one. Um, but
If I
yeah,
had my way, the US and the ICs would just come back.
yeah, yeah, first. But yeah, no, WWE sorry, the WWE Tag Team Championship, which was the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, absolutely. The difference in the appearances night and day. Um, We were just talking about Motor City Machine Guns winning those belts. They look great on anyone that's held them so far. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Worst title redesign.
Got to be the Raw tag, hasn't it?
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing because it's still better than what they were. You
Is
know what I
it?
mean? I guess. I mean, I
It
don't think
just
that.
looks the same, but with like a sticker on the front.
Yeah, that was
Don't
very
get me wrong,
similar.
the red and blue penny belts I wasn't a fan of when they originally swapped the old WWE and World Tag for the
Yeah,
penny belts. I wasn't a fan of that either. Excuse me. But yeah, I don't see how you can make the SmackDown ones look so perfect and then not make the Raw ones look like a more updated version of like the Raw World Tag Team
yeah.
Championships. That was, like the mid 2000s
Like
ones.
the oval ones or something. Yeah, that would be
Well,
beautiful.
not the way, no, not oval. What, oval
No,
was it?
not lemon shaped.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
yeah. Like I feel like just that would have been so much better because to me the Raw ones are so ugly and
yeah,
also never defended. So what's the point?
yeah, yeah. Okay, I agree. Um,
We're good at this.
yeah, we are. um, I'd say best wrestling. Oh, I was going to say best wrestling promotion, but I think we're both in the camp of yeah WWE followed by TNA, and then at the worst would be AEW. That's pretty much what it is, isn't it?
Yeah,
That would be the current ranking of them all. I mean, WWE has been consistently great across the board, which hasn't. It's not been like that for years. You know what I mean? There's always been something that's made me want to watch WWE, but there's not been something that's made me want to watch all of WWE. And now
yeah,
it's at that point where it's like when people say about missing the Attitude Era. The reason people miss the Attitude Era isn't the stars and it isn't the way
it's
that the storylines
nostalgia.
were and that it's not even that. It's the thing of you cared about everything. You'd watch SmackDown and you'd sit and you'd be glued for 2 hours. You
Yeah,
don't that hasn't happened for years. It's happening again now, and that's why for me WWE is the best promotion out there at the moment. It's always been the best in terms of size and name value and revenue. It's going to be the top for that. But in terms of the actual shows and the quality of it, absolutely hands down the best out there. And
yeah, no
whereas
doubt.
like,
I
sorry,
think actually I made it clear I don't watch AW. I can't get into it. It's not my cup of
which is
tea.
which is why they get worse.
Strokes for yeah for different folks and all that jazz. From what bits I have seen, I'm not greatly impressed.
Yeah,
TNA have had a great year.
they've had such a good year. Yeah,
They've had a really good year, but I just think it's unfortunate that TNA have had such a good year in a rare time when WWE has had a
stellar year.
almost spotless year.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah, yeah. And
if
it's
we gave out like company of the month, like how in football you get like
yeah,
player of the month.
yeah. Last year it
Any
would
other year,
fluctuate. Yeah,
any other years it would fluctuate. This year it would literally be just
yeah,
consistently WWE. They've had an incredible year.
absolutely.
And long may it continue.
Yeah. So we we're near in the end now. I got three more things down. So I'm going to say best wrestling storyline for you for the next one.
Best wrestling storyline.
Yeah,
Um, I think it's got to be Cody, right?
yeah,
Finally finishing the story. I think it has to be. Like, I know when we was on about his best wrestlers, I went, I don't want to say Cody. That was based on his in-ring achievements, like in kayfabe, winning the
yeah,
Rumble, winning the title mania is the top level. But I think 3 years in the making,
yeah. And that
finally
whole
happening.
build with the Rock, the Cody
Yeah,
Crybabies things, the
yeah,
whipping him
yeah,
with the belt, the Mama Road stuff, everything going.
yeah,
With it. Yeah, brilliant.
yeah. I
I'll
think it's Cody for me.
okay. I'm going to give it a tie because I like that one. But CM Punk Drew McIntyre just surprised the hell out of me
Oh
with how good that was. Is that disappointed or that you forgot about it? Did you not
no,
like
it's
CM Punk
just
and Drew McIntyre?
in ring. Yes,
Yeah.
my
Oh
spoiler
yeah,
alert
no,
for
they actually
have we got?
it got drawn out too much. Yeah,
It's not even being drawn out too much because go multiple times, right? This
yeah,
have we got a worse storyline?
yeah. You're going to put that
Okay, well
down
I'm
as your
going to say
worst.
mine's yeah
Okay.
because it purely because like in ring and then matches, great.
Yeah,
80% of the promos, great.
yeah.
But the fact that the key point of this
Became the
bastard
bracelet. Yeah,
storyline
yeah.
was the
Okay.
bracelet was so fucking stupid.
Yeah,
So stupid.
yeah.
Like it's ridiculous.
Like
That
the
like
build
that
up
got
to
that
Mania was perfect. You know what I mean? Punk
the
wasn't even in
bracelet
the
cost
match.
Punk twice.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. Okay.
stupid. That's
Okay.
that's my issue. Take the bracelet out of it and just have more insults at each other or whatever promos they're doing. Easily tied with Cody. Easily. If not,
Yeah,
maybe beating it because it was 3 months of pure venom at each other. But the bracelet really fucking takes it down for me because I thought that was absolutely like ridiculous for two men in their late 30s, mid 40s or whatever they're in to be beefing over some Claire's accessory beaded bracelet.
yeah,
I thought was ridiculous.
yeah. But yeah, I will give you that. I enjoyed everything apart from the bracelet stuff. So, so I'd still
Yeah,
view
me
it as a
too.
high thing.
Absolutely.
But like, and like you said, matches were great. Worst storyline for me, Chad Gable and Wyatt's.
Yeah, it just seemed pointless. There was no real end game
Yeah.
for it.
And to be
Yeah.
fair, still enjoyable to watch. And like we're saying, worst storyline, like we just said, WWE's been consistently great. I've still watched all those segments, and I've still wanted to see what happens next with those segments. And I still had that thing of, oh, it's Bray Wyatt's brother, and look at there's Eric Rowan, and there's some of the more like outcasty sort of characters. Great, I love the concept of it.
I think it's going to
But
be a long-term thing. Like
yeah,
what they've done so far by any means isn't impressed me or made
no,
me think, wow, this has been worth
I've
all
still wanted to see
the
what they're
random.
doing though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah, that's what I mean. It's not like I sit here seeing what they've done, go, this has been worth all the random QR codes and the spooky vignettes, blah blah blah. But I do have complete confidence that this is a long-term run. I don't think Bo Dallas would agree to do this kind of story with no payoff, especially as it's very much a for break kind of thing.
okay. Well,
So I feel like down the line, like
something's
there's
gonna
I think
happen.
there's a
Yeah,
I think there's a long-term plan for it,
yeah.
but the spark for that long-term plan maybe just haven't been lit yet.
Fair enough. We've got two more things left, and I know we are about to overrun. So I'm gonna say go for best wrestling moment, and I'll give you
Well,
mine,
easy,
which I'm assuming is going to be yours. Pardon?
easy.
Is it going to be the Hardys winning the tag team championships?
No.
Oh, okay, because I love that shit. The Hardys winning the tag
Oh,
team
that is
championship for
incredible.
me
Yeah.
is one of. But then again, Cody at Mania, yeah, Cody at Mania,
Also,
or the
no.
Drew cash in thing. You know what I
Also,
mean?
no.
Okay, what have you got?
None of those.
Yeah,
WrestleMania main event, they're gone.
yeah.
That gone.
Sorry,
That
that's what I
alone.
meant.
That
The whole Cody thing, that like the whole moment, the whole match. Yeah.
the whole match
Okay.
was great, but for a pure moment, that
Yeah.
gone. And then Taker been there having to run 30,000 feet around the stadium to get into the ring.
Yeah.
And then chokeslamming Rock. It's just, as everyone knows who's listened, I am an absolute Undertaker mark
Yeah.
Calloway.
Same.
Um, yeah, like that's it. That's my top moment.
Are we going to say that the worst wrestling moment was AEW deciding that the Young Bucks and Jack Perry were going to turn on Tony Khan and do like a really, really, really tame version of the Meltzer driver on
No, I'm going to say the worst moment, wrestling moment of the year is when Tony Khan didn't fold AEW.
him? So just AEW, yeah, San. So the last, God, the last
Also,
thing we got
all
on
jokes
here.
aside, no, all jokes aside, I'm just throwing there. It's going to be Nia Jax's chair shots in the War Games match. That's the worst thing I've seen all year.
Yeah, fast. Little honorable mention for the best thing. Tama Tonga moving like he was playing fucking Super Mario on that cage was amazing.
Oh yeah, fuck, yeah, 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 yeah. I fucking love
The
him.
fact that we didn't mention that on our review thing, but yeah, that was so great. Anyway, last category, a very easy one. Best wrestling podcast. I'm assuming that you're going to say the same thing as me, which is 6 Feet Under with Mark Calloway.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't missed an episode. They're all amazing. We have conversations about that
yeah,
podcast with each other. That's how good it is. We've both been listening to wrestling podcasts for years, and we do our own. We've been doing our own for like a decade. Well, the pair of us have been doing some form of podcast together for about 5 years, which is
yeah,
insane that we've got to that point. But yeah, the 6 Feet Under is genuinely one of my favourite things to listen to now.
yeah.
And
It's
yeah,
because it doesn't feel in the nicest way possible. It doesn't feel like a professional studio podcast.
no,
It
because
just feels like
everybody's
the
just
yeah.
taking the piss and stuff, and
Well, that's it. And I'm sure if they pan the camera around, there's going to be like 15 dudes behind the camera working different crap. But it doesn't feel like that. And that's
no,
what makes a studio podcast, which I think is what it will be classified as, it doesn't feel like studio podcast. And that's what makes it just
yeah,
chef's kiss.
the fact that like I think that one episode with Hornswoggle like that
Oh,
has got Hornswoggle more over than anything he's done in the last two decades.
I got the notification. I put that straight on. I
Yeah,
messaged you. I was
you met.
10
Yeah,
minutes
it was
into it.
amazing.
I was 10 minutes into it. I said, yeah, I was like, this is fucking brilliant.
Yeah, the Maven one was great as well, and yeah,
Oh
and
yeah, Maven.
Minion's been amazing on it, and yeah,
Yeah. Also, Maven, incredible content he puts out by the way
yeah,
on YouTube.
yeah.
Same with Stevie
Honorable mention.
Richards.
Yeah,
Yeah, brilliant.
and Chris Van Vliet's been good as well with some of the stuff he's
Oh,
been
Chris
doing.
Van Vliet has have absolutely he's killed it this year, man. It's great
Yeah,
to see. Because again,
so
he's just a fan. Oh shit, he's just a
yeah,
fan who's worked hard and it's finally paying off. So it's
yeah,
I like
it's
to see
cool.
that.
Okay, well, we'll wrap this up. I'm not going to do a worst one because I think that's unfair. Because yeah, that's the one category that I'm not going to do a worst thing on. So this is
Whatever podcast is dedicated to AEW.
yeah, right, there we go. That
Yeah,
one
fuck you.
whatever one fucking Snaky Soudham's doing still. But yeah,
Gammy leg audio.
indeed. So anyway, thank you everyone for listening, and thank you for watching if you're on YouTube. And remember to like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff, and we will see you next week. So cheers, guys.